But you're having so much fun too.
I am. And I don't apologize for it either. Every one of my students is Canadian Chinese, every single one of them. Except for the ones that are Chinese, because we do have, when they log in here at 7 o'clock, I have classes at like 7 o'clock. In China, they're logging in and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. So they do that. They have clients. I'll tell you, they have clients in Massachusetts, Texas, California. I have a kid in my class from Portugal. So of course he's 3 hours ahead of us. He's a charming young man, you know.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Record to this computer. When you see the recording on, you can start.
Hello, we are the Voices of Experience. 4 pals from Toronto, Canada. All of us with quite a few miles traveled already down life's highway. Well, that might not translate directly into voices of wisdom. We can promise you an entertaining half hour of discussion on a wide range of topics of current interest. Stop. Delete that. Yeah, start me again. There's no half hour of discussion, an interesting discussion, because we're not doing half hour. Oh, God. I should have noticed that for the other one.
Yeah, I never picked that up, actually.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. No big deal. But the half hour part is not true.
Oh, maybe people will say, where's my other 15 minutes?
Give me another cue, please,
I'll cut
Mr.
that off. Start now.
Sandhu. Oh, okay. Sarab, okay. Okay, here we go. Hello, we are the Voices of Experience. 4 pals from Toronto, Canada. All of us with quite a few miles traveled already down life's highway. While that may not translate directly into voices of wisdom, we can promise you an entertaining discussion on a wide range of topics of current interest. So sojourn with us for a while. You'll hear a variety of points of view. You'll be amused, you'll be provoked, you'll be stimulated. And now it's my pleasure to pass the word across to Mr. Alex Brown. Al?
Thank you very much, Andrew. Welcome everyone to this podcast. My name is Al Brown. Joining me in this podcast is Sarab Sandhu, Andrew Wood, which you just heard from, and Mario Kariakidi.
From whom you have just heard.
In our
Al, from whom you have just heard. I'm the teacher here.
Right. And your comments in this podcast, Andrew, are going to be very important because, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the podcast. We're talking about the pandemic. Now, the pandemic has been an ongoing problem or crisis for Canada and the world for the last 8 months. And it promises to go on for as much as another year. And what we want to do today is to discuss some of the issues that are relevant today that have come up. There are a number of things that have happened in the last week, which you may have heard about. A couple companies have promised that vaccines will soon be available, but when is another story. The number of cases of the pandemic, of the COVID-19, has been increasing worldwide, and particularly here in Canada. It's growing, and various jurisdictions are considering new restrictions up to and including lockdowns. Now, I'd like to start the discussion today with Sarab, who is going to tell us something about the vaccines. Sarab, over to you.
Welcome, and thank you very much, Al. About the vaccines, I just heard the Prime Minister of Canada say that all Canadians will be vaccinated by end of 2021. That's good news. And Canada has already bought these doses, right? But they're going to first give it to the frontline workers. But I want to ask a question. They keep saying there are 2 vaccines which are in the running, but they are 95% effective. What is 95% effective? Have you seen you either pregnant or you're not pregnant? You can't be 95%.
No, I can help you there, Sarab. I can help you there. The point is the percentages of people who have been inoculated. if you've inoculated 100 people, and 95 of those people do not get COVID-19, then that is 95% effective. And of course, there's always a control group, and the control group that got the placebo is unprotected, and they have significant comparably rates. So that 95% is the 95 people who did not get it. 5% of the people who had the vaccine did get it, which is a very small percentage.
But they also had that they have to take 2 shots, 20 days apart,
Yeah.
28 days apart.
Mm.
And when that happens, they have to store that at minus 200 degrees centigrade or something weird temperature, very difficult to store. Logistically, it'll be a problem doing this 28-day thing when they do start. So the vaccines are coming. And in fact, I've put some money in a stock called IFRX in Netherlands. They have this monococcal vaccine where they use nanotechnology to go and attack the cells. But this is only for pneumonia, not for COVID, but they could use it for COVID. But given that, very soon we'll have the vaccines and people can use it, and this pandemic will be bye-bye, go, bye-bye.
Mm.
I understand that for herd immunity, we probably only have to get to about 80% vaccinated or something like this. In other words, 80% of us maybe have to develop the immunity, the natural immunity to this virus or any disease for it to prevent the spread within the community. However, this particular virus is particularly virulent. In other words, it spreads very easily.
Yeah, very.
So that might mean that might be a difference. But Sarab, when will all of these doses come in? When are we going to get it? And what about all the rest of the world? We can vaccinate ourselves, but then if the rest of the world is still sick or getting the disease, what do we do about it?
I think we should get the vaccine by spring. They're going to give most of the doses. They already have it. By December, they're going to have a small dose, like about 14 million doses they're getting for the frontline workers. I'm talking about Canada now. And in states, Merck and Moderna and Pfizer have this vaccine in action. And my question is, even after the vaccine, do you think we'll still have to wear masks if you're immunized?
Well, there's going to be a time frame. There's going to be a lag. Let's not kid ourselves. This pandemic is not going to be over in the next year. Okay,
No.
We're looking at least 2 more years of this, even with a vaccine, because even if you roll it out, one of the questions that was asked is, what about the rest of the world? And that's a fact. The rest of the world has to be immunized as well. And knowing how political systems operate and access will be probably given to first world nations first, and then it will start to cascade down there. But if you have open travel, at that point you have the the risk of getting the disease back again. It depends on how strong the immunity is based on the vaccine. That's a big question mark, whether or not you can get reinfected. Just going back to what Sarab said earlier about the question regarding the 95%, keep in mind that the flu is hovering around 50 to 60% effectiveness when you get the flu vaccine. So it's not, it's a lot better from what we're hearing. But here's a question that I'm going to ask. And that is, I'm not going to name the company, but there is a company here in Canada that announced that you won't be able to go and access their services unless you are vaccinated.
Oh, what company is that, Mario? What company is that?
I'm not going to leave it because, but there is a company out there, and it's a major company that gives access to a lot of different things for people's entertainment. Okay, and the fact is that you won't be able to access that entertainment avenue unless you're vaccinated. So the question is this: why do I have to be vaccinated to access something, to
Mhm.
fly somewhere, to go to the grocery store? Do I mean, is it going to have to become mandatory for me to be vaccinated? It's a question that a lot of people are asking.
Mm.
You know, Mario, there's nothing new in that except the intensity of it. Back in the 1960s, whenever I traveled around the world, I had to have a vaccination card, and it was particularly for specific diseases that were available or rampant in those areas. I can't recall exactly the diseases, but it might have been typhus
Yellow,
and smallpox
Mm.
and stuff like that. I
yellow fever.
still have my vaccination certificates from that period, and you had to present them when you went into other countries. So there's nothing new about this. It's just that it's more intense. Now, I can see this becoming a necessity if the pandemic persists. If, however, it starts to go away, then the rules will be relaxed, shall we say.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good point.
if you,
And it's a good point, Al, and I was going to lead to that actually because that was kind of like it's important to understand that the climate has changed, okay? And I mean the political and the social media climate that is putting out their conspiracy theories about the vaccine. And a lot of people are asking that question, why am I going to be forced to take something? But we forget that generations before us have done this, and the boosters and all that when we were children. That was all part of it, and nobody was questioning them back then. So why are we questioning them now? What's different?
we've become complacent.
Mm.
Over 50 years, we've simply become complacent. It's not been an issue. But 100 years ago, we had a huge pandemic, and before that, pandemics happened every 20 or 50 years. And there were people were isolated when they arrived home from traveling overseas,
Mm.
just to cover off the possibility that they may have a disease. But let's move on to something else.
Well,
Andrew, what is going to be the effect on the school system
yeah.
in the next little while from the
Well,
pandemic?
okay. Well, wait a minute, though, Al. I haven't had a chance to weigh in on this question about
Okay,
the vaccines. I haven't had a word to say about it.
very well.
Well, I've got a perspective that I don't hear anybody talking about. We've got two companies here, Moderna and Pfizer. Is that not right? Well,
Yes,
Moderna, I'm okay with that. A modern vaccine? Who wants a stuffy old traditional vaccine? No, I want a modern vaccine, so I'm all for that. But this Pfizer thing, there's a capital P in front of that. What is the capital P doing? You don't see it, you don't hear it. What is that all about? I don't even know why it's there. I think
Conspiracy.
that should be investigated. That's a
that's for the
problem.
same word. There's a P in front of psychology.
I don't know. I think that's fraudulent. I have my doubts about that one. So I would just, anybody out there who's listening, this is my advice, and you can hear it quite clearly. I would go for the Moderna one, but I am very skeptical about this silent P Pfizer thing. I don't think so.
Yeah, really. There's got to be something in there. That P really means something.
Well, you got to deal with it. But well, moving on from that, you know what? It's our hope. It is our hope, and Godspeed, and all the rest. In the meantime, there's a lot of misery to be lived through. The next couple of months are not going to be easy. I predict that the education system, at least here in Ontario, will shut down for the Christmas break and for several weeks after that. They're going to want to keep the kids home just for that 14-day extra window, because people meet each other at Christmas and they meet each other on New Year's. And so you need a 14-day window after that for all those cases to manifest themselves. And so Ontarians, at least, I do not see those kids going back to school before mid-January.
That sounds good. Any other elements of that are going to affect the education system, Andrew?
Well, no, well, it's yes. Well, the education system, of course, is so crucial, and it affects so many other things. It's a domino. It's the domino industry, isn't it? Because if the kids
Mhm.
are home, then the parents are home, and if the parents are home, then there's a whole lot of other things that are falling by the wayside as well. And we lived through that pain back in the spring. And whether the country, whether the Canadians are ready to live through that again, I mean, that remains to be seen, right?
Well, Mario, what do you think is
I,
going
I,
to
wa- I, wa- I,
happen?
want I want to address what Mario was saying about vaccines and requisite for you have to have vaccine to get a job or to go on a plane. This is the intention in any case of the vaccines, because they're going to have this vaccine for everything. They're going to control. This is somehow way of controlling your freedom. Everything going forward will be recorded. Who's taken the vaccine, who hasn't. As I told you in the previous podcast, they're going to put a little chip in the end in your body where it's recorded that you have taken this vaccine, this vaccine, this vaccine. And maybe at some day to control the population, the mood or whatever, they're going to use 5G signals, which can activate these viruses or a vaccine inside and cause something more control to happen.
Wow, wow, we're hearing new stuff.
So
This is, I
that
just made it up.
that is actually a conspiracy theory that is very, very widespread, folks. And it will create something that's really serious, which is vaccine reluctance. A lot of people are going to be questioning that. And a lot of intelligent people are questioning that, by the way, because we do have the ability to do what Sarah is suggesting right now. And, um, there is it's something that has to be dealt with on a social level. And as I said in the previous podcast, we need to trust. We need to trust the vaccine. We need to trust the pharmaceuticals are creating. We need to trust the politicians and not politicize it for their own gain. We need to trust the businesses not to be making profit off of people's misery. Profit can come later on other pharmaceuticals, but for this,
No.
it's important that people have access and trust it.
Mm, I agree.
Well, whether or not these conspiracy theories come to pass is something that we cannot really answer at this time. We can only really speculate. The issue is we have to get beyond the pandemic. And if we've all been microchipped by then, well, we'll have to vote on it and get them removed. Let's have some final words on this, starting with you, Sarab.
I got this idea about 5G from a movie I just now, Bone Revisited or something, the Bone series. And there he's got a chip inside, and it was with various viruses that used to be get activated. So that's
Ooh.
why this is possible. So other than that, we got a vaccine. We'll be happy. We won't get coronavirus, but what else will happen to us, we don't know. But with that, good luck everybody with the vaccine.
Andrew, final words.
Well, this pandemic is not going to be over until we're vaccinated, until we've got the country vaccinated. So God haste that day, God haste that time. I'm looking forward to getting my life back. I appreciate the opportunities that COVID-19 has given me, but I live in fear of getting sick, of course, and I will not be able to relax until, that date. In sometime in the future in 2021, well, I'll have received my second vaccination, and if the same, of course, goes for all my friends and acquaintances and anybody listening. So God haste that moment, right?
Mario?
I'm going to say that vaccine aside, okay, during this time frame, we all need to do our part. And it is not a discussion anymore about the right to wear a mask or the right to do anything. We got to start looking at it as a human to human interaction, that we need to look at it as a gift to one another. And folks, if there is one thing that we owe each other, is to be considerate to one another. Politics aside, okay, a mask is not going to kill you if you got to wear it for 5-10 minutes outdoors or in a setting. You just got to be aware of the fact that you're helping somebody else that could get sick. Even if you have the greatest immunity system, even if you are young, even if it doesn't really matter. What matters is, please offer us the gift of your care.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. If you do
Thank you
that,
very
we'll
much.
get you through this, and the vaccine will come in its own time.
Thank you very much, Mario and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe, and we'll get through this. So thank you for